I was on the ground when it was just a back of an envelope and a pencil scratch. So pretty amazing to see it come to life like this.
It's the start of major economic change for Springfield. For years now, all we wanted to see is economic development for the city. As a native of this community, I was honored to have found a partner who shared my vision and the vision of many of my friends and colleagues.
You know, being in Springfield for many years, that part of Springfield, you're like, oh, if they could do something with that block or that block. And to have a transformative project arrive in Springfield, which was going to dramatically change downtown Springfield and wind up being the largest single private development project in the history of the region, it's amazing.
And that's what it's been. As you mentioned, the 2,000 construction workers, all of whom got paychecks and are spending money downtown, helping their neighbors with their businesses.
I remember interviewing companies early on, before any bids went out. Individuals come into the room, we'd ask them, why are they here? Why are they interested in doing work for MGM? And the common answer we got was, when this thing is done, I want to be able to take my kids by this, I want to take my wife by this, and I want to be able to say, I worked on that project. I was a part of that. I was a part of turning Springfield around.
It makes good sense, I think, to us as a business and as someone that wants to be a good citizen in the community, to work with local firms, and it's benefited the project. It's been great to work with people that are committed and focused on the job, that are local, and to see the money that we spend stay in the community.
Finding companies that you could grow and mentor was one of those things, again, that when we're done, I'll be very proud of. I think we did a good job of finding companies within this area that were hungry, that wanted to grow, that saw this as an opportunity, and kind of said, how can I help? And not only how can I help, but what more can I do?
This job here at MGM in Springfield is the biggest job Ultimate Abatement has ever undertaken, and it's been very exciting, very challenging.
Almost, I think it's in the high 70s, low 80s, hours worked on the project are Massachusetts residents. If you go down our company list and you look at locations, there are, I'd say 70–80% from Massachusetts. All the outreach we did kind of came together and just drove local companies to the project. We're actually tracking every worker hour worked by gender status, veteran status, and ethnicity. So to do that, you need a buy-in from the companies that are going to work for you, that they are required to meet these goals.
You know, Brian, Shalon, and myself figured out very early on that we needed to partner with the unions. They needed to be our allies. The unions in Tishman, our GC/CM, worked very, very hard to make sure that everybody understood that best efforts wasn't going to be good enough, that these were real goals that we intended to make and exceed.
So that's what we did. And we started off, we just basically grassroots. We went out and got names of people, names of minorities, names of women, veterans, and then it was a matter of staying on it.
So when we did the first outreach call, we said, if you are a local or a diverse person in the union, we want to meet you and we want to know about you. My office hours got booked pretty fast.
And I was excited. If this is true, then let's do it. And we were all in, and they have never disappointed me in the commitment to diversity. And the proof is in the people who are working on this site today.
I can tell you our women membership has increased dramatically, and we've got a lot of good laborers out there, women laborers, doing the job out there and getting it done.
Seeing MGM Springfield take the steps in getting more minorities, veterans, women out to work is a huge win for everybody. And it's nice to see owners and contractors taking those first steps instead of being forced to. They want to.
I think the Chairman Crosby from the Gaming Commission put it best. It's really one of the most ambitious designs projects in the industry, and he's right. I think we had the audacity to think that we could take 14.5 acres that was part of a blighted 3 blocks damaged by the tornado, a bunch of dilapidated buildings, and we had the vision that this could be a destination resort with movie theaters, bowling alley, great outdoor activation, fine dining, all within 3 city blocks.
Never have we built a project in the heart of a downtown city. If you're walking on the corner of State and Main Street, you're in the heart of that city. So building, a $960 million casino project in the corner of State and Main in Springfield is like nothing I've ever done before. The design was really made to tie into the area. We weren't building something as a monument. We were building something that was timeless and fit with its surroundings.
Here, the challenge is with 20 plus some odd buildings, a lot of them being historic. You're surrounded by streets, commuter traffic. A downtown urban environment brings a whole new level of logistics to a project like this.
I think this is a great combination of refurbing older buildings and also fresh green build. I think this is as good an example as anywhere in the country. And we have really unique buildings that that others built and that we really embraced in the design. And I start with the State Armory, where the old South End Community Center is. Spent a lot of money renovating that space. It was damaged in a tornado, which a lot of the buildings were that we looked at.
So the Armory had all this history, so many layers in it, and many uses over time. And when you went in the building, you could see these uses. The building was congested. It was 4 floors stacked on top of each other. So eventually we said, okay, these floors have to go. And so we ended up with this concept of let's open up the Armory like Liberty Hotel down in Boston. Let's expose these historic walls and let's make it feel much more inviting to somebody when you walk in.
We embrace that building. We think it's going to be one of the cooler venues in the region. Another building is 73 State Street, which is the old United Electric building. Took the facade, preserved it, and then took the remainder of the building off and really continued the development from there in a really consistent style. So it looks like an older building because of the great architecture on the front of it that we preserved. Other building that really comes to mind, and this one really is an engineering feat, is the old French Spiritual Church. It was right in this, would have been the center of our casino, which was inconvenient, needless to say. So we had a company come in, one of 5 companies in the country that were able to do this, lifted it up by its foundations, and we trucked it across the site about 2 football fields. Huge engineering feat, really proud of it. Great combination of old meets new, and when you're in a downtown, I think it's about embracing the history and the beautiful architecture that's already down here.
I think as a Springfield resident, I think what I've been most impressed with is that this facility is going to have so many nods and references and just expressions of homage to Springfield's incredible past and history in the region.
I always say the proudest moment typically is 2 or 3 days before opening, when you can walk into the casino floor at 1 in the morning, nobody's there, but you can look around. And you look up and you look over and you hear the buzz of slot machines, but you're the only person in the building, but everything's finished. And that gives you goosebumps. And you say, wow, we actually did it, and we're done. When we started 3 years ago, that's the goal. To have that night and sit there or stand there and walk around and you have the building all to yourself. And if MGM Springfield opens and operates correctly, there'll never be another night like that because we're open 24/7. And so that's the coolest part of the project. It's done, but it's right before everybody shows up. And then, 2 days later, the whole world's here. And they're here forever. So that's probably the best part of it.